I take it you don't have the key.
No, I don't. It's good to see your face, though. How are you holding up?
I am hanging in there.
Hell of a night, huh?
Okay, I'm just going to get this out of the way first. I love the original Resident Evil 2 back in the day in all its tank control glory, and this remake is something I've been wanting for a long time. In fact, back in 2014, it even made a Watch Mojo list of the games we wanted to see remade. Now, it's finally here, running on Resident Evil 7's engine, and at face value it looks radically different from its source material. Does this remake redefine how to do video game remakes, or does it take one too many liberties? Welcome to MojoPlays, and this is our review of the remake of
Resident Evil 2.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. While most recent remakes such as the Crash and Spyro trilogies, as well as last year's Shadow of the Colossus, would remake the graphics but keep mostly everything else the same, Resident Evil 2 rebuilds everything from scratch, though the outline is still the same. The story still revolves around two characters arriving in the zombie-infested Raccoon City: Leon Kennedy, a rookie cop having the worst first day ever, and Claire Redfield, a young woman who is trying to find her missing brother Chris, one of the protagonists from the first Resident Evil.
No, don't shoot!
Get down!
Just like the original, the two still meet up and make their way to the police station, only to be separated when a fuel tanker crashes into their car.
Claire, you okay?
Yeah! I'm alright! How about you?
I can't stay here!
What's different this time around is how these events are told in the order they're told in. The original game was notorious for having some really cringe-worthy dialogue.
But don't you worry, girlie. You'll be safe in here. I'm keeping a close eye on things.
But this time around, the cinematics have been given a professional makeover. All the characters now show much more believable emotional traits, thanks to some fantastic performances and great direction across the board.
We both know how this is going to end. Get out of the city.
I can't just leave you here.
Claire, please, go.
The writing team have clearly taken inspiration from recent zombie work such as The Last of Us or The Walking Dead, as a lot of scenes carry more emotional gravitas than before, like this version's portrayal of its gun shop sequence, which I won't spoil here.
Don't move. I'm not gonna hurt you.
I said don't move!
I'm just passing through. I'm gonna ask you to lower that weapon.
Like hell you are.
The game is split into multiple campaigns between Leon and Claire. When you beat one campaign with one character, a second run mode will unlock for the other, making for a total of 4 different campaigns, just like the original, with the second run notably being a lot more difficult with less ammo lying around and keys in more harder to reach locations. Though the second character will unlock later sections of the game much faster, making for less downtime.
Who is that?
Stay sharp.
However, the game does falter with this format in the final act of the second campaign. While some of the events of the first run are most notably felt during the second run, by the time the players reach the final area, the game kind of abandons this dual perspective setup, with events starting to play out exactly the same as before. This is made even more jarring with the way the game handles the character Annette, as she ends up repeating her actions almost like there's two of her.
She can't be saved.
Even the original game was able to work around this dual perspective right until the end, so it's kinda disappointing that the remake didn't follow this plan all the way through.
Where are you going?
Look, I don't have time to play 20 questions. Everything's under control.
Doing away with the tank controls, the Resident Evil 2 remake's gameplay instead follows the likes of Resident Evils 4 to 6, with a third-person perspective as you explore the zombie-infested police station. There's a lot of tension palpable throughout the game, thanks to very limited ammo lying around, and missing a shot can prove to be a costly mistake. Zombies take a lot of bullets to bring down too, and after a while they may even get back up if you don't pack enough ammo into them. In most cases, your best course of action is to attempt to run away or avoid the zombies altogether, though this carries its own risks down the line. Both characters also get access to different weapons, changing up their playstyles. While they both have different handguns, Leon will get access to a shotgun and high-powered magnum, while Claire gets access to a submachine gun and a grenade launcher, which can fire incendiary or acidic rounds. Oh, and their weapons can also be upgraded by finding parts scattered throughout the world. The game may play out as a shooter, but the Raccoon City police station feels more like it's part of a classic point-and-click adventure game, as you need to look for various trinkets and lock combinations to access new areas, or use certain tools to clear obstacles. If you played the original game, there's a lot of rooms that will be recognizable, but the floor plan has been changed overall that will make the experience still fresh for fans of the original. Memorizing the station's routes is very important too, as you need to revisit a lot of rooms more than once to get the items you need, especially where... Oh crap. That music. Oh crap, 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 crap. This is the T-103 Tyrant, better known as Mr. X. In the original game, he was a recurring mini-boss in the second campaign. But here, he's introduced much sooner and is way more impactful on the game. Similar to Jack Baker in Resident Evil 7, this thing will constantly roam the police station trying to hunt you down. He will be drawn to your location by any loud noises you make, such as firing a weapon, slamming through doors, or running in the hallways. The only indication you have to figure out how close he is to you is the loud stomping footsteps he makes. This is where the game makes great use of 3D sound, as his steps drop in and out of volume whenever he's nearby. Because of this, if you don't have a good sound system, I highly recommend playing the game with headphones, as the 3D audio is a vital lifeline here. Seriously, this guy is like the freaking Terminator. He just won't stop until you are dead. Shooting him will only briefly slow him down, but there's no way to stop him aside from moments in the story, meaning your only options are to run and or hide while he hunts you. He's one of the most terrifying enemies I've ever come across in any video game, and the fact that he has a constant presence had me constantly terrified whenever his stomping got louder. This is pure horror at its finest. Yes, the game still has its trademark jump scares, which had my wife constantly checking up on me, thank you. But Mr. X ends up being what is easily the scariest monster the Resident Evil series has delivered. You got some work to do, Nemesis.
Go, go, go!
Aside from Mr. X, there's a handful of other nasties to deal with. The series staples Cerberus and the Lickers make a return here, with the latter being notably more dangerous thanks to the new free aiming perspective and their tendencies to jump around the room. Though crows and spiders are not to be seen in this game. There are also a handful of boss fights that are pretty interesting and certainly memorable encounters. Although the game's true final boss, which only appears after beating the campaign with both characters, is very anticlimactic as it's over way too soon. It's a fight that's faithful to the original, but it probably shouldn't have been. Visually, the game looks great, even when you can't see a lot. Many of the hallways in the game are pitch black, requiring the use of a flashlight, thus creating some great lighting effects all around. Rain, when outside, is noticeably rendered with incredible detail, with characters even reacting when stepping out into the downpour. Enemies are also very well detailed and very visceral too, as shooting them will leave very notable flesh wounds and in some cases leave very graphic faces with parts of their skin missing. The game's soundtrack takes a bit more of a conservative approach, mostly staying ambient for most of the game while dropping the odd nostalgic tune every once in a while. Though the game's boss themes are notably bombastic and far more memorable than before.
You gotta be kidding me.
On top of the main campaigns, the remake offers a handful of unlockables. Bonus modes with Hunk and Tofu both make a return, and are available once clearing the main game with both characters. There's also the option to play through the game with Leon and Claire, and eventually Ada and Sherry, dressed in their original outfits. And picking up the deluxe version will net you a few extra outfits, but most noteworthy is the option to play through the whole game with the classic soundtrack and menu sound effects. It's pretty sweet. The Resident Evil 2 remake is a fantastic game. It completely redefines how to do a remake, making it incredibly approachable for modern gamers without alienating its retro fanbase. Even when not considering its source material, it's a great game in its own right and just as approachable for anyone who hasn't played a Resident Evil game before. This, without question, is the best video game remake to date, and a worthy candidate for Game of the Year.
I'm guessing you don't have a key in one of those fancy pockets?
Unfortunately, no. But how are you doing?
You know, just surviving.
That's good.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos straight away.